Okay, so what's with fishing? Jason, you're really into fishing?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was like born to do.
B Born to fish.
That's it. I have it tattooed on my leg.
Really?
That's that
I do.
yeah, that's that nasty riser and top roll, man. Reeling in all of the big ass
Really?
bluefish.
Really? Yeah.
I've
So
just been fishing since I was 2 years old, Ray, and I've been hooked ever since.
It's a
okay,
fun
so
hobby,
so
man.
probably you and Neil have a lot of things in common because
Uh,
he
for
likes fish.
sh for sure. Me and Neil talk a lot about fishing. That's for sure.
Okay, this makes sense. He was he was like telling me about like this great fishing place he went on, like this crazy story and everything. And at the end he's like, I'm like, so what, you catch fish, like great big fishes and whatever, and then
hmm
you just release them back. He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Just so you guys know, we are live. We are live. And I just needed people to see this, This
We're live.
Travis
Hey,
Bate back.
it's good to see who we are important enough for Mr. Bajan.
Yes, I
We
said
got his
if Travis
presence.
not gonna come on, you guys are just not that important. But
Oh, that's the way Ray decided to throw me under the bus there. So also, I Ray thinks that I'm working on the weekends. So this crazy guy sent me a bunch of things for Saturday and Sunday, and I'm like, dog, don't ever do it. So Monday through Thursday, guys, I'm yours. So
Monday
happy
through
to be
Thursday.
here. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man.
Doing good, Travis.
Great, great. So is it time for me, Ray, or
It's
do you have anything? Do you want to go ahead and ask your three questions right away and then go on vacation, or I mean, where have we gotten? Did I miss? I didn't miss much, right?
No, I'll keep them for later. Okay, I'll keep them for later. Just so you just like Ray, and I'll be like "Duh, duh, 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 duh," whatever, blah 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 blah. So
I got you. Okay, so listen, I've been reading the comments um, from all the other podcasts, and the other day the guy's like, "Dude's terrible. You should only ask one question at a time." So because I absolutely hate every person that fucking types anything negative after watching a podcast, because I have my views of these people who are watching this podcast. I already got a problem anyway, but when you comment about our skills, so I will start it off with a two-question ask to each of you. Start first with you, Ryan. What does it mean to you, and how did you get the call?
I mean, yeah, this look, man, I'm in this thing to be the champ eventually. So this any call I get uh means everything, and I'm not a huge name yet. So every time I get the call, I feel like my back's against the wall and a loss is just gonna not give me a call again. So every prep, um, I do my absolute best to not let that loss come. So um and then yeah, I guess Robert just messaged me on Messenger one day and asked me if I wanted to pull at this event, and I was like, yeah, of course. He didn't say who or whatever, but eventually it was about a week later. He told me it was against Jason, and I was like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Same with you, Jason. Big time, important to get the call, or just business as usual, and then tell us the exact circumstance of how you got notified.
Yeah, so Robert reached out and he was after my left-handed match with Mayan, he still wanted to get me on right-handed and he said, I'll be in touch and Robert finally reached out and he just said, "How about you and Ryan?" And I'd say even before that, his first question was, "Do you want to stay in the 95 kilo class or are you interested in dropping down?" Because I'm in that in-between spot. And since I enjoy eating and I see all the people that suffer when they drop down in weight, and because I like to view it as a little bit of an underdog, so I'd rather challenge myself a little bit more. So I want to see if I can prove myself at 95. So I enjoy the fact that I get to walk around and not have to worry about weight, and I try to put on as much as possible. So I said 95, and then he's like, "How about Ryan?" And I was like, "Let's do it." So I was very glad, and it's awesome to get that opportunity. And Ryan has a really awesome match history with Alan Ford, and he has one of those memorable matches. So it's awesome to get to pull Ryan and get that opportunity.
Ryan, do you feel now you are the guy who is definitely going to get his hand taken? It's going to be terrible at the beginning, but you are labeled now as the guy that you better be careful, because this guy could turn this thing into a 10-minute episode of him coming from the depths of the worst position you could ever be in. And somehow, do you feel like you're kind of defined as that guy who's going to kind of hold on in an awkward position? Or was that just one circumstance? It happened to have go viral, but you got a whole different game plan coming.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I feel like I am probably labeled as that guy, right? But I know, I mean, if you watch the first two starts, I ate his top roll alive, sucked him in, and my hand just blew up. I don't know. I never had that happen before. Couldn't even close it on the by the the third start of the first round. So I think it was just a fluke, but I have implemented several other things in my training to try to prevent this from happening again. And I, if it comes to it, yeah, he'll have to break it to pin it. So
Jason, is that match, do you watch the whole match or do you only watch the last match? Is this you know a lot more about Ryan than we know? Because you have this information, tell us, what do you think? Is he kind of defined? Do your guys only talk about that match when you tell them that you are going against Ryan? Or are you a little more in depth with his entire overall resume?
Yeah. The Ryan definitely has much more of a resume than defined by that match. But look, it's pertinent because it's fairly new, right? So it's fairly new information. And then he also has a more recent match with another guy in the class that I'm familiar with as well. So, I see where Ryan is strong, and I think Ryan has a lot of threats that I can pay attention to in order to make sure that Ryan doesn't get into a sweet spot, because he definitely looks pretty strong. And I think there are things where Ryan wants to go, places where he wants to go, and places where he doesn't want to go. And hopefully that fluke happens again with your hand blowing up, Ryan.
well,
Ryan,
hopefully I'm not going to be cutting any weight. I'm sitting about 215, 216 right now. So I think that might have had something to do with it. Sometimes you can overdo it with the carbs and stuff, but I don't know.
well, Ryan, I appreciate you taking my next question and answering it before I get. So the truth is, hanging around at 215, this weight cut will be pretty easy. So let's just talk about the travel to Arkansas. Pretty easy, right, for everyone here except for Coach Ray. Were you guys getting in on Tuesday, Wednesday, or are you waiting until Thursday because it's such an easy thing to do?
They got me coming in Wednesday. I should be in Little Rock by 8:30 Wednesday morning.
Oh, wow.
I leave Myrtle Beach at 6 o'clock, and I go to Atlanta, and it's like 30 minutes until my next flight, and then it's pretty quick. They're both like 45-minute flights. So
How about you, Jason? What's the itinerary?
Yeah, I fly down to Atlanta, and then Atlanta to Little Rock. I get in sometime Thursday before noon. So yeah, should be an easy travel day, knock on wood, especially with earlier flights, so less chance of delays and all that stuff. So should be pretty simple.
Gotcha. Are there any nerves here? So I am watching the stream from Germany, and I'm like, I keep looking left and right at anybody else that's in the room, and I'm really like, damn, you guys see this shit? Like, we are just a few years away, I believe, from selling out Madison Square Garden. So, Jason, are you excited about what you see with East First West?
Of course, and then the trajectory is right. Like if you put all this data into a chart, you see this climbing steadily, and all of that stuff is indicative of a really good future for East versus West. And absolutely, I'm super excited for this. If I continue to stay relevant and continue to get these opportunities, like this is what we all want in order to continue to grow. So these every time you get this type of call, like that is a big deal for everybody involved. So super excited. Absolutely stoked, Travis.
Ryan, did you watch the podcast? I mean, the stream, I assume. And what kind of environment? You and a bunch of guys, or was just you and your family? Were you impressed with what you saw in Germany?
Oh yeah, each event, each event seems to get better. Um, but there's nothing like feeling it in person. You know what I mean? Since I've been there before, you once you're there, it's something totally different than watching it. But yeah, I mean, even not watching the live stream in Germany, man, it was like, yeah, you could just feel it. It's getting there, getting huge.
Talk to us, Ryan, about your training right now. What days a week? Who's your training partners? Are you traveling, making that long hike to South Carolina? What exactly is and is it any different?
Yeah, so practices has actually changed to Adam Wrzezinski's house in Somerville. So instead of me driving 4 hours one way and 4 hours back to Spartanburg, it's actually a little over 2 hours to each way. So that's helped out a lot. But yeah, I mean, I got Adam Wrzezinski on his team, Hunter Knobs, um, legendary Matt Harris. He's actually done my kind of my strength program. So we've them are the main guys. We've got a lot of quite a few guys on the team, but yeah, I mean we're close, man. We talk every day. We bounce ideas off each other, and like I said, I got Matt Harris. I mean he's coming up next week just to do the final few little tweaks. So
Any of those dudes making the trip to Arkansas? Well, of course, Adam. Anyone else?
yeah, yeah. Adam, Matt's coming too. He's going to corner both of us. So yeah, but I think that's it. There might be one or two guys on the team that's going to come pull the tournament.
Jason, talk to us about your day to day. Who you're training with? Who are the main guys? You're by yourself? What days of the week? And is it more often now than ever before?
Yeah, so it's a good question. It training whenever I can. Everybody's got life and life happens to them. So they go through their time of what they can do when they can do. And for me, fortunate for me, I typically train 3 times a week. And I try to have table practice maybe once or twice a month. It's not as much as I'd like it to be. However, I think the results are speaking for themselves. Like I've been able to sustainably climb a certain level, and for me, everything's working out. So yeah, it's not as much as I'd like it to be. However, I can't ignore the data, and I have to believe that for me, I'm avoiding overtraining and I'm staying healthy. And I think that's one of the critical things for always looking to grow as an arm wrestler is staying healthy, injury free. So I think that's allowed for it in my specific training of just focusing on 3 times a week as much as I can when I can, and staying healthy.
How long is it going to take for you, Jason? Things work out beautifully here. You envision if you had that belt around your waist. I mean, is that 95 class like kind of nuts there? Would it be a little smarter here to maybe grab the belt from the lower class if things were to actually go that well for you? Is this testing the waters up here? It's fun, but the real money the real fame and fortune is definitely now, although Manifestor looks like an absolute crazy person, to me, Samushi has got to be a task that is a little more attainable than maybe the Todd Hutchings and whoever else that monster becomes at the 95-pound class. So to be realistic, if this thing's going to happen for you, it's probably going to be at that lighter class. Are we crazy for imagining that?
Look, yeah, the odds are definitely stacked against me. There's no question about it. I'm very realistic about it. However, I do like the challenge. Like, I wanna continue to push my trajectory is still climbing. I'm still getting better. I'm still getting stronger. I'm still filling out as a human being. So I believe I still have room to grow. And I want to try to continue to test that in this weight class as long as possible. So, like I said, for me, it drives me more to view myself as that underdog. Yeah, I'm going against guys that are going to be dropping down, and that's just it's a it's a it's an intentional decision to try and really test myself. Until I really hit the roadblocks, then at that point, then I'll consider possibly dropping down in weight. But for right now, I enjoy staying healthy and fit and my everyday activity where I'm able to just be optimal where I'm at and I'm able to take a match on short notice. And I don't have to do a lot of prep for that because I'm ready. I'm trained. I'm pretty consistent with all that. So I want to try this out as a regular everyday type of guy and like I said, I'm taking it super seriously. But I want to try it out as being a regular everyday guy and somebody that would be viewed as an underdog since I'm lighter and I'm going against guys that are dropping down. But for me, like I said, that's a driver internally for me. That is what pushes me. So I want to try it out. We'll see if it's realistic. It's a daunting task, Travis. There's no question, very daunting test, and I know it is. I want to try it out. I want to see how far we can push it.
Ryan, I got good news and bad news for you, okay? The good news is all of your guys know who the champ is and how good he is at your weight class, right? I think you know who the champ is, right? Everybody knows him.
Yeah, for sure.
He used to go to your same practice, right?
Yeah.
So you have an up front. Now that's the good news. They know him, right? The bad news is it is Toddzilla. How far away are you from a guy like Toddzilla? And is that the goal? And do you feel that that's attainable?
Uh, I think I'm pretty close. I mean, I'll get a better feel for it if I could pull somebody that actually pulled inside, like Sasha or somebody. But I keep getting these pesky top rollers. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I think I'm close. Uh, like my inside for sure, man. I mean, I would like to to find out. And yes, of course, that's the goal. Is to be the champ and to pull Todd Hutchins. I mean, he's a legendary guy in sport. I mean, he don't lose at 95 kg. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind being the guy that knocked him out of there.
Your teammates talk about Toddzilla in a way that he's unbeatable, or do they talk about him in a way that, hey, my man, you keep grinding. We've only felt that from guys like him.
Yeah, yeah. They they thought it was close about a year ago. So, you know, and Todd, Todd had said, he did all the West Side barbell, he came up with that system and stuff, but he never mentions that Matt Harris was right there with him and helped him come up with that too. So I'm doing very similar training style. He's been in the game a long time, so my gains are um, probably been a little more than his, say, per year. Uh, but I don't know. I've only been, this September will be 8 years for me, so I still got plenty of room to grow too.
Jason, you hear Ryan talk about he'd love to get someone to come on in and face him arm to arm and smack him in that hook. Is it safe for us, looking at this podcast and knowing that a lighter guy moving up, right? That you, in fact, will not be giving him what he is wishing for, and that you will be rising, triple capping, false starting, and flying completely outside as far as you can in the hopes of taking the hand and taking care of this guy outside? Or is that a fair assessment?
It's a fair assessment from an outsider's perspective, for sure. It's a fair assessment. We'll see what happens. Like, look, we don't know what we actually feel on the table, and you know, every arm does feel different. I think Ryan is, raw strength wise, I think he is the stronger guy, but is he going to be the stronger guy when he gets gripped up with my hand? That we don't know. So, I think there are there are lanes and very technical lanes where I'm able to keep him out of him being truly, truly strong. And then that's something that I truly believe. So, um, I don't know. We'll see what's to come. But like I said, from an outsider's perspective, I think that's a pretty fair statement to assume where the match is going to go round one.
Nice, nice. Coach Ray, I hate to throw you under the bus. You know that's not my thing, man.
I know.
You mentioned to me that you thought that Ryan a little sloppy in the setup, maybe not as technically sound as some of the legends here in the United States, and that his hand would be taken by Jason Merlo. And then, right when I thought that you couldn't be more disrespectful, you changed it right to Jason and said, however, I don't think he has enough ass, meaning not heavy enough, not big enough, not as big a man as Alan Ford, and maybe not as good as Alan Ford if he even got in that position. And that you believed, Coach, that even though Ryan would be sloppy and would get that hand taken, that he in fact would be a little too heavy, and he would eventually push Jason down. After looking at these guys face to face here and seeing that there does seem to be a thickness difference in the jawline and head. Not sure. I know that there's a difference in height too. Do you still agree with that statement?
Listen, it's not exactly what I said. What I said, there's no chance for Ryan to contain his hand, to not lose his wrist. Like, that's what I said. But I also said that there's no chance that Ryan won't give everything like he did in Alan Ford match. So I think it's a classic matchup of styles. If Jason hits this thing perfectly, and like it's like when you look at him in the setup, well, everything he does is perfect. Ryan just doesn't care. Like, he doesn't care that you did it perfectly. Like, I've been watching your match with Alan Ford so many times. I know what's gonna happen, but I still expect some arms to break. So I keep what I said, and I'm gonna die by it.
I like
I mean,
it, Jason. Go ahead, Ryan. Let me hear it. Ryan, I don't think he watched your match with Alan Ford 100 times. I think he watched one match of you and Alan Ford 100 times. And I'm just like me. I don't know if everyone knows you contain stuff that top roll the first two rounds. So I do believe that you have 100% fallen into that gap of that's the only match we know about, okay? And it is time for you now to show us another match that's different from that. And I'm looking forward to. I will tell you this, though, Ryan. My teammates used to lie to me all the time, tell me I was amazing before the match. So be careful with what them South Carolina boys are telling you about you beating Todzilla, okay? Because that's crazy talk, all right? But that's just coming from West Virginia here. All right. Well, listen, We've
They just
been
said it was.
doing this.
They said it was
Travis, let
close.
him speak. Travis, let him speak.
No, they just said it was close, but you know that's been a big part of my training. 5 days a week has been that wrist going back, and that's just bothered me because I know my hand and wrist are strong. So I need to get out from underneath that, you know, wrist going back BS because I just think it was a fluke. But we'll see. We'll see.
I spoke to one of your the people who practice at your practice, and they mentioned to me how irritated you was about that being what everyone's talking about. That's why we opened the podcast with that. So you can thank your boys, and I'm sure they'll fess up right away when you ask which one it was.
Yeah, that's good, man. Like I said, it's been a driving force in my training. So, if anything, if it still goes back, it's a hell of a lot stronger than it was.
Well, I think it's going to be awesome, and I do think that the best thing to be known for is that you can put on a show. So the truth is, the fact that you don't have that quit in you, and that this long, tall top roller who looks similar to the same guy that it happened, and don't think that you guys being the match of the day wouldn't super delight East versus West, and it would be awesome anyway to see that again. It's just such a horrible thing to have to go through just to get your glory there, Ryan. It's a lot easier if you just go ahead and snatch him up in there and take care of that business easy. And then we could probably get you Nugo and start getting someone who's going to come forward, and then we can get in that realm instead of you having to hold on for 9 minutes in a death match. So definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's definitely not fun for the shoulder. You know what I'm saying? It takes a little while to recover after that. But
We've been asking everybody on the podcast 2 simple questions, right? The first one is this. Jason, you're in complete control of the East versus West. You can make any changes you want to the weight class, the rules, the promotion. Is there anything that your young mind, brilliant mind, do you think Robert could hear, and that maybe in the future we could see some sort of change in any direction?
Oh, I don't think this will be a realistic one, but this would make me curious to see what everybody would do if there was, and obviously this favors me, of course, this favors me. Same day weigh-ins. I would love for Ryan to struggle down to get down to that weight and pull right after we weigh in. I would love a lot of guys to do that, right? And I think it would be interesting because then I think there would be athletes that would make a decision not to drop down. Um, and like it's
Can you detail a little more? Same day weigh-in, meaning 6 a.m. weigh-in, 6 p.m. compete, or 4 p.m. weigh-in, 6 p.m. compete?
right before the event, right before the start of the event. And I would love to see, like I said, I think it would bring a different dynamic to the athletes competing. And I think it could create a lot of fun and interesting matches. I think at that same token too, for those that decide to suffer through it, I think it would be pretty funny to see how they would actually perform at that level. But like I said, I think it's selfish because it would just favor me. But I think it would just be interesting just to see what everybody would do with that. And yeah, I think we'd see a lot of changes in who decides to drop down and who decides to actually get up to the high point of their class if they truly belong in it.
Okay.
So
Well,
yeah.
let me ask you this. Do you think that there's only one reason why it's absolutely impossible, right? It's because of the insurance, right?
Of course, absolutely. Of course.
Because I agree with you. I agree with you. I don't want to know who's the best at losing weight. Yeah, my goodness. Get on the Biggest Loser if that's what you want to do, no doubt. We had Alden and Jeremy on earlier. Alden said that we should have only 10 to 20 seconds in between matches. That he felt that speeding the matches up was a great thing. Also, he was really interested in the running foul being instituted. So now we got same day weigh-ins, possible running fouls, shorter time in between. I like all that. Ryan, same question. you and them South Carolina boys are in complete control of East versus West. Is there anything that you would like to see different, or not even different, just something that that doesn't occur there now?
Yeah, like 48-hour weigh-ins, where you could, where you could no. But I actually like the same day weigh-in, man. Like I said, I plan on just walking in uh same weight. You know what I mean? I like that. And I actually like the set grip. Started off with a set grip. I mean, I guess a quick start. It's a fair start. Nobody's sitting there fighting for 3 minutes. You know.
Now, do you mean the set grip being the referee's grip? Him closing the thumb,
Yeah.
him closing the hand? Gotcha.
Yeah.
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 I think that's why, to me, the WAL kind of like, if you get your own grip, it's a little more freedom. The problem is that we started just taking away the thumbnails before long, and it just got a little crazy, and people thought that WL grip meant that you had to tell them to close their hand and say go in the same word instead of telling them to close their hand, recognizing what the problems were, if there were any, and restarting it, issuing fouls and stuff. The set grip, to me, I just don't trust every referee to actually place my fingers places. So even when they have tried to place my fingers, I fight them on the placement of them. But I love the fact that we don't have to waste any time before we get there, because it just seems that so few matches can actually, at this level, can be dealt with peacefully before the go. So I'm cool with that. All right, the next question we've been asking everybody is, hey, everything works out perfect for you, Ryan. This match is easy work, right? You get to schedule your next 3 matches, right? The next 2.5 years. Maybe you're a little busier than Levon because he only arm wrestles once every 3 years, but somehow he keeps the title and everybody's cool with him being the greatest that ever lived. Kind of weird, right? I mean, but it is what it is. Let's say your everything works out perfect. Tell us, what does the path look like to Ryan being the 95 kilogram champion of the world?
Yeah, I mean, say like a lot of people say. I mean, I never want to look past anybody. Especially the gentleman in front of me. But I've got goals. I have dream matches. Godzilla being one, Sasha being another, and Rustam being another. Not to say I could beat any of them, but I would like to, like I was saying earlier, have somebody that would dive in there with me and just see. Like, I don't know. I mean, I know with the guys I train with, but that don't tell me nothing.
I like it. So, Jason, this is good for you too, right? So the 4 matches that this guy now's the champion of the world, he blows you up, then he goes ahead and blows Sasha up, then he blows Rustam Babayev up. Which, let me tell you something, Ryan. Hey, my God, you'll be getting different time slots with these podcasts, right? When you start whacking them cats in the hook. So, and then at the pinnacle, and listen, I don't know, Ray, did you hear resentment? Not resentment, but just a little bit of let me think of the right word. I don't think they're having a Todzilla parade every time he comes to South Carolina to visit these days. So then 3 years from now, a year and a half from now, whenever it is, it's Ryan and them South Carolina boys against Todzilla, and Ryan winning, taking the belt and putting it around his waist. Listen, that would keep us all employed, Ryan. These podcasts, it would be an amazing situation. That would be a great road.
Sounds great. Sounds great.
That's a great one.
Thank you, Ryan. We appreciate you.
Yes.
And no problem. No problem.
Same question, Jason. Tell us the path, and then I guess which one of those belts you would have, and in what weight class?
So the path, like,
It's a perfect path, and it all worked out perfect for you.
of course,
The
I
genie in the
understand.
bottle. You got
Understood.
it.
Genie in a bottle stuff. Yes, you dictate it. So, first of all, it's amazing to even be in any of these discussions. Like if Ryan's looking at our match and then the other stuff that he's looking for in the future. Like it's amazing to even be here in this position. So the fact that I'm currently here to be able to do this is truly incredible. And you know it's it's something more than I ever even imagined. Like when I started out arm wrestling, like this wasn't even something that could even be a pipe dream thought. And the fact that I'm getting these opportunities is amazing. So to line out what we do in a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, like it's just taking on this journey and whatever comes. And look, if they turn out to be any realm of a title shot, like that's awesome. If they turn out to be this level where I continue to stay at this level, like that's awesome too. Like there is so much more than just going toward the title shot. It's everything else that happens while I'm here enjoying this. Like we're in an age where everybody just hides behind a phone and records an event or something like that, and then they go home and then they watch it back on their phone. Like I barely take out my phone when I'm around all these athletes. Like I'm living in this moment, and this stuff is like incredible to be around all of these people. And so 3 years from now is just me still being healthy, being involved, being able to sustain this level, and like I'm enjoying every single moment of it because then I come home and then my daughter's like, "Daddy, Daddy, I want to watch you arm wrestle." Like that, that is just awesome. It is so awesome. So it's in whatever capacity that I continue to push this, and it's leading by a really good example to be proud to be at this level and to say, "Hey, I remember pulling this guy. I remember pulling this guy. I remember pulling this guy." And whether it was win or lose, like I got that shot, and like that is awesome. So I understand Travis Genie in a bottle to line it out, but I think it's so much more fun completely not knowing and not having any expectation and just seeing how this ride takes me. And it is, like I said, it's been so fun so far, and I am so continued looking forward to whatever's in the future, Trav.
Well, I got two thoughts from what you just said. First of all, Ryan, yeah, do you hate this guy a little bit? Why is he so smart and articulate
Hey,
and humble?
hold on.
Hate this guy. Hate this.
I was just about to say, like, do you notice the difference of intelligence, right? Like, I'm just,
With me, hey, I noticed it with me and him. I don't know what it's really driving me crazy. I'll tell you that.
I'm sitting over here taking notes about what I'll say next time. You know what I mean? Like, shit.
And then the next comment for me is you brought up your kids, Jason. So that made me think about Artem. Just got into the chat since I know he looks at me like a father figure. So Artem, welcome to the show.
Hello. Well, I figured since I kind of boosted Jason's career a long time ago, I might as well appear here. I kind of owe lots of credit around here. And yeah, well, you know what? Even Ryan's technical, right? Because Ryan has a win on me. He doesn't even remember it. That's how cool he was. So I
I don't.
figured, I'll see how my kids are doing around here.
Ray, take over, Ray. You and Artem do something for the
Oh
show.
my god! Oh my god!
crushed
Travis
it.
quit
I've
like that.
already crushed it.
I was thinking I could stack three questions at the same time. Probably none of the people could actually, follow it. uh, let's go like very easy. Jason, what's your biggest advantage in this match?
My biggest advantage, I think it's the hand, and I think even though Ryan had a long match, I think my endurance has been built pretty well. So I don't I don't know if, and I see Ryan's disagreeing with that.
I didn't disagree with the hand, but I disagree with the endurance.
What I'm getting at though is you know, I don't know if I don't I don't know, like going back and looking at that Alan Ford match, I just truly believe that I make that match a little quicker. If I get in that position, I don't think it takes that long.
Yeah, I mean, if you got a side pressure, you know,
I got some side pressure. I got some side pressure.
if it's more, yeah. I mean, if
You
you
guys
want it to
calm
end
down.
quick,
I
you
don't
better
want
be
y'all to
more
get
than
in a
Allen.
fight. Calm down.
Hey, you need some side pressure. I have some side pressure. You have some side nice pressure.
According to Artem, guys, there is no such thing as endurance, and it plays no role in arm wrestling. Artem, can you elaborate on what you meant by that? And then you can explain to Jason that there is no such thing as endurance.
Why did you have like an endurance subject here earlier? Or you
We
speaking
just
on the
had
spot?
the question that he feels that his advantage could be endurance, even though the perception is that Ryan has great endurance. Can you tell them about what a terrible thing to have would be endurance? Can you explain why?
Right. So I feel like the guys are confused. Well, they're trying to say that one of them is slightly stronger than the other person. So therefore, the other person may gonna have to struggle a little bit. Therefore, that's the endurance. That's all. Well, y'all got it earlier.
So
That
they
Okay.
made
have, in
no
fact,
sense.
turned a
That
negative
made no
into a
sense.
Well,
positive.
hold on. Okay, well, I'll go a number for you, Ray. They're like, if you are stronger than me, then you're gonna look like you have more endurance because I'm gonna be over there under you, struggling and sweating and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it really have nothing to do with endurance, you're just simply stronger than me. If I'm gonna arm wrestle an 8-year-old gonna go crazy on my arm for an hour, it's gonna exhaust and tire out.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't have to do anything with his lung capacity. It's just not strong enough. It's a 8-year-old human being.
Well, the thing is, we know like, well, I agree to some point the things that you're saying, but
Well, Travis is putting him on the spot. There's an endurance that plays role if we're really close, right?
we're
If me and
close.
you are
Yes.
super close, then
Yes.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Whoever smokes less throughout the day probably gonna win.
Then what about the Artem? What about the scenarios like if you're the stronger guy and you're pulling somebody and just even use it as at practice, for example. You could be beating one person, and if you're just pulling that person in practice, you're beating them at the beginning of practice. 30 minutes in, all of a sudden they're beating you. In the beginning, you were stronger. Now you're not, right? So that's where I think tides turn, and the guy who 30 minutes in starts beating you, his endurance is a little bit better than yours.
Well, that depends on the style. Usually, if that happens, it's me letting this person work a lot more, and so therefore, I'm letting him work. So I'm working a little harder. So yeah, by the end of it, sure, because I've been letting him work. I think it kind of depends. What if I'm just flashing you for this whole time? I'm probably not gonna use as much power. But yeah, I see what you're saying. The endurance really probably matters too when you're in the practice and how many dudes you can really go through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That
I get it.
sounded right.
Right.
Yeah.
Pause.
Jason, have you had a chance to look at the complete card?
I have, yes.
You have. I need to know what your favorite match is, the biggest shock that you think could happen, right?
And your
Ooh.
least favorite match.
Right. And then the last one would be, do you think Michael Todd is going to lose after he puts 5,000 people in that arena to watch him win?
Wow. Well, to start, let's start out with your last question first with Michael Todd first. Yeah, like the question of him dropping that much weight and knowing Petrenko's trajectory. I I think it's going to be a tough day for Michael. Hopefully he uses that added pressure of it being in his hometown and him, having all the fans to be able to pack that place out. Hopefully he uses that to his advantage to really fuel him because yeah, I think this is a I think this is a hard match. this is going to be a really hard match from him. That's my opinion. Going back to, I guess,
either match you're looking forward to or the
yes.
upset, the one that you think this guy's going to win when not many people think he's going to win.
So let's go with Araceli and Yoshi. In my eyes, I think Araceli is on paper a favorite, but I think Yoshi is going to wear out Araceli, and I think, like I said, in my eyes, I think Yoshi would be viewed as a big underdog in this one, and yeah, I think Yoshi's going to come out with the win against Araceli. And then one that I really like that I'm interested in, I would say, I gotta say, Borzinski against Peter. Like, I want to see how that match goes. I really, really want to see how Adam does against Peter. And yeah, I listened in on that podcast, and yeah, Peter sounds super, super confident, but Adam's hand is just getting better and better, and like he's beating the highest level guys. Like I don't know. I'm very interested in the Adam and Peter match. Big time.
Same question, Ryan. Starts off with, tell us if Michael Todd's in big fucking trouble or not.
I think losing that much weight, possibly, man. But I don't know Mike like that, but according to what I've heard, is he's done this 40-pound weight cuts quite a few times in his career. 30 pounds in 16 hours on a road trip to a Vegas event. You know what I mean? It's still won or whatever. So I think.
Didn't hear that. I never heard that last part. I've heard him losing the weight. I never heard he won.
Oh, okay.
Ever in my 27 years of being alive, I have heard that he has lost the weight.
Okay.
But I've never
heard.
I
thought he had won the one I heard, but maybe not. I think he's done it before, but he's got a big advantage being at home. He gets the weight cut at his house. He gets to put all that back on at his house.
And there is a 72-hour difference in weigh-ins and the actual match, right? Is that the way they rock? What is it? 24 hours? Well, what is the exact time?
A little over 24 hours, I think. A little over.
It's usually about 30 hours or close to it.
It's the last
all right,
match.
And then tell us an upset, Ryan. Anything you think that could be an upset?
I don't know if it's an upset, but I'm gonna go with the girl match with Courtney. She's been killing it from Canada. I think she's gonna smash that. I can't remember her name.
Nastasia.
Yeah, Nastasia.
I think she's gonna surprise a lot of people and win. I mean, from what I've seen, she's been very dominant. So,
and then the last one, but not least, one you're looking forward to, and I guess it probably has something to do with Adam as well, right? You must see the progress.
Yeah, it's got to be the Adam match, and we just pulled yesterday, and I don't think I've ever even seen him top rolled, man. I mean, I've seen him kept flat, but I ain't never seen him top rolled. So, and his hand just seems to be getting thicker every time I grip up with him too. So I don't see that dude top rolling him. So he better have trained some kind of hook or inside move too.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, hey, super looking forward to it. I don't have anything else. Ray, Artem, you got any reason to keep us guys here any longer? What we got?
Yeah, there's a rumor on the internet when I think Travis, you interviewed Todd, and Todd was saying that Petrenko could be like top 5 super heavyweight. Internet did not like it whatsoever. So, in your guys' opinion, I wonder if Petrenko does move to super heavyweight, is he any competitive or is he not really? Anybody thought about that? Because especially we have to think about left-handed too. Travis, you'll know like how Alajan and Oleg did left-handed.
Close. That was close.
Oleg should be like, if you put him in a super heavyweight left-handed, he's got to be somewhere up there, right? No,
You gotta. Hey, the Vegas got him crushing Artem Morozov after watching Alajon pull Morozov, and then you pull that tape. Crazy. Michael Todd fucked up, guys. He should have never did this with this guy, man. Oh my goodness.
No, I think
Putin, you need to get Ivan Matyshenko over here. Much easier match than Petrenko.
Yeah.
Right. Let's start it. So what's your opinion?
I think Petrenko could be very competitive in super heavyweight, but maybe not immediately, right? Like, because you got to hold on, you got to sit on that weight for a little bit before it's actually your weight that you could use with the strength and stuff. So I would say 1 year, year and a half at that weight. And yeah, I mean, it'll be more of a true test is what he could do. But I think he could be competitive for sure.
Yeah, and it depends on how he puts that weight on and how quickly in order to see if that translates to pulling him up in the power that's required. I mean, look, he probably has the structure to really put on that weight and be competitive. You know, I think with him sitting at this level, that's definitely something that's not out of the question. That's what I think.
Yeah,
It
not
opens
many
up a
people
lot.
do to Todd what Oleg did, and the guys you have seen do that to Todd Hutchings usually a lot bigger than him. So super impressive. Well, listen, guys. Hey, good luck to both of you. I have my prediction. Do you guys want to hear it now, or would you rather I spare you guys?
Yeah, we got it. You can go
Please
ahead.
go through the match. Go through the match. Let's go.
First
go.
of all, can I tell you this? It does not mean just because I got all this shit around my house that I know everything, okay? Doesn't mean I know everything. My opinion is clear. Those South Carolina boys lied to you, Ryan. This fucking guy's gonna bust your ass, man. 3-0. Jason Merlo's about to be a superstar. Anything else, Coach Ray and Artem? Take them home from here.
What a dick.
Yeah, Jason, do you have? Oh no, Ryan, do you have anything to say to that?
I mean, anything's possible, man. I have no clue, but I'm bringing the best version of myself. Made several improvements, so we'll see what happens. Definitely strong as shit. So,
And Ryan looks, I can tell he's very focused. He is locked in for sure, and that makes me happy because I do want to beat the best version of somebody, and I know that Ryan's bringing that on, so I appreciate that, and I appreciate like that.
I would never disrespect you or anybody in the sport by coming in half-ass. So.
Same, Ryan. I ain't taking it lightly because I know that the power's there, and like I said, you know, uh, I know you're super focused, and I know that you're driven here. So there's a lot that you said it at the beginning. You feel like you're like at risk for whatever reason of, oh, if I lose this match, then it's over or whatever, and you know, uh, that's what drives you. For me, like, and people had opposing comments of this, but I am super driven. I know how driven I am, but for me, in order to stay focused, I just take it as it comes, and I try to not put as much pressure on myself to really perform at my highest level, and I think that's important for me. And yeah, I've been steadily climbing. I've been very healthy, and there's nothing else that I would ever fall on in terms of any excuses there. So you're getting the best of me, Ryan. That's for sure.
I guess that's it. Guys. I'm very much looking forward to this match. It's a classic styles matchup, inside versus outside. Thank you, Artem, for joining us. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, BB No Money.
Yeah.
See you guys on June 6th. Get your tickets. East versus West. What is it? 24 already?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
24.
I just
24.
realized Jason's baby no money is crazy.
You just got it, right? You just got it, right? Yeah.
No, I've been looking at it like, dude, that's him for real. That's crazy. He's paying for lunch in Arkansas. I already know. That man gets to get some money.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah.
I'll be
No
there.
way.
Hey, from Wednesday to Sunday, my breakfast is whatever Jason's room is, so we good.
Okay, guys.
Ryan, don't be laughing too hard. I'll put some dinner on yours too. I know you got money.
Shit.